More than 9,000 people have descended on the nation's capital for the 47th annual CBC Foundation Conference. Features over 70 public policy forums and, of course, fun and entertainment. This year's theme is Still I Rise. Yesterday, everything got kicked off, and I'm hosting several panels this week, and of course, hosted one on yesterday, sponsored by Congressman Al Green, Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Sorry, Scott. Sorry, Scott. You couldn't get in. So there were no Kappas on our panel. So we talked about the idea of policy and protest in this age of Trump. Here is some of that conversation.
We are very clear within the activist community, and I use this analogy all the time. Police violence is not our only issue. Political corruption is not our only issue, and I often liken it to a tree. We are talking about multiple branches on a tree that is rooted in systemic oppression and racism. The roots are rotten, and so therefore the fruits of the tree are rotten, right? And they're rotten in inequitable education, they're rotten in unequal housing, in the prison industrial complex, and all of the things that we're talking about. Our goal is not to break off a single branch or to fix one piece of fruit. It's to uproot the entire tree, right? But we can't stop at the unrooting. We can't stop at the battling. We actually have to plant in its place something that bears fruit for all of us.
We can't just keep showing up for CBC and having a good time for 4 days and not doing something for the other 361. And so the reality is, what are we doing when we go back home? How are you going to be activating and mobilizing folks when you go back home? What are you going to do to go to the Hill and tell these folks in Senate that how dare you even talk about trying to take my health care away again? And make sure we have to be tactical. We can't just be about the party. We got to be about the protests.
We often talk about Dr. King said this or this in the speech, but not what actually led to that. What were all the pieces that went behind it? Most people don't even realize that he sent advance teams into any city before he even showed up. He didn't just walk in. He was very clear on the lay of the land. And so for folks here who are going to go back, you worked on the national campaign as well. Many say caught fire, and in some ways he had to catch up to where the movement was. Talk about how critical that aspect is in terms of understanding that you have to constantly be strategizing in the next step, as opposed to it's just going to happen.
If there's one thing I think, you know, this talented and elite group of folks that are in this room and attending this conference this week should understand is that we have to stop going and talking to our communities and talk with them. Because those are the pieces that are going to help us put together a real plan that's going to move the needle. And that has been helpful to me. I mean, we came out with a very robust racial justice platform that was informed by activists. I just didn't let a couple white people from Vermont write the platform. Like, these were young black people and brown people who said this is what we'd like to see. And going forward, I think that is what we need. That is what the party has been doing. They have held a number of listening sessions, had meetings. When a group of black women got together and wrote a letter to the DNC noting that we do not feel as though you value us and we will not continue to be with you unless you start talking to and listening to us, they started having conversations.
Think about all of the institutional power sitting in this room right now. We got SVPs in this room, VPs, CEOs, COOs. What would happen if we banded together? Some of our companies, for example, that we work for, fund the prison industrial complex. What if inside of our companies we banded together as people of conscience and said, we're not going to take this anymore, and here's how we're going to move within this company until we actually shift, right? That's the kind of power that we give away every single day when we don't think about all of the creative ways that we can organize, both at the voting booth and beyond.
The Martin Luther King Memorial, we wanted to make sure that the memorial continued as a living memorial. And so we do this luncheon to honor members of Congress, civic leaders, as well as business leaders every year for what they do in the community. So today we honored three. We honored Emmanuel Cleaver and Congressman Lacy Clay, as well as Secretary Interior Zinke. We honored Secretary Zinke for the sole purpose because of his diversity in appointing 2 females to top positions at the Interior Department. So we're pleased at his actions thus far. The most important part for me today was seeing the crowd and seeing everyone here satisfied with the comments that everybody made, not about the honorees, but in fact about Dr. King, about the tenets of justice, hope, democracy, and love that lives on here, and how much we need love, not only in this country, but indeed the world.
Also last night at Harmon Hall, the Congressional Black Caucus also honored several folks in the arts, including Spike Lee and Yolanda Adams. And of course, yesterday there, I caught up with Spike Lee right before the program started. Spike, we're here at CBC 2017. You've been honored, and you got the jacket with every movie you've done, or is this an ode to Michael Jackson?
Nah, this is my ex-jacket.
Oh, there you go. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Okay. You know, I saw the ornaments here, you know, because, you know, Michael was good for that.
Well, it's a homage, a shout out. How you doing?
Man, I'm good, staying busy.
Oh, how's Houston, huh? How are you?
Houston good, family's good, everybody's good. Nobody has any problems. Thanks for asking. Everybody's good.
God bless. You know, Puerto Rico's without power, and
U.S. Virgin Islands being hit hard. Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, who's here, she said they got hit hard yesterday.
You know, Mother Earth is angry now. Looks like there might be tsunami in Japan. The thing, you know, the earthquake in Mexico.
Climate change is real.
Yeah.
Even though some people ignore it.
Are we in this town?
Dude, trust me, it's crazy being here. A couple of things I want to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Something sports and music related. Okay. When I saw the story, I said, I got to ask Spike this. Jay-Z telling the NFL, no thank you. Standing with Colin Kaepernick.
What happened?
They asked him to do the Super Bowl. He told them no.
What? I didn't hear that.
Yes.
But where's he from? Where's Jay-Z from?
Where's he from?
The Republic of Brooklyn. You know how we do? We don't go for that.
No.
Jay-Z's from the Republic of Brooklyn. Marcy Projects.
It's
question.
It's interesting how you see more players who are sitting down, taking a knee. You look at what Tom Brady said; he deserves a shot. Could have come out a little stronger.
And Aaron Rodgers before that.
Right. I mean, folks are now realizing Colin Kaepernick. They're making an example out of him.
It's come on. You look at these guys, man. The New York Jets, the quarterbacks they got. Good God.
Jacksonville just signed a former Giants quarterback who's only thrown 9 passes his whole career.
What about the guy from Chicago? He was retired.
Jay Cutler. Who sucked.
They brought him out of retirement and then gave him a $1 million contract. Oh, my God. Look, it's the word is collusion. The word is collusion. And a lot of these NFL owners are Republican. A lot of them wrote $1 million checks. The Agent Oranges not account, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So
for the inauguration.
The inauguration. So it's rigged. I mean, it's straight out. I'm going to go with Mike Tyson right now. It's some skullduggery. Subterfuge.
Real quick, I know we're about to start the program here. Man, we talked at Essence, but she's got to have it coming up. I'm hyped, man. Thanksgiving, all 10 episodes directed by me. It's good. It's very good. You're going to have black folks eating turkey, staying at home, just binging the whole time.
Because we're not watching football, so she's going to have it.
See, there you go right there.
Oh, man.
Baby, always good seeing you. And thanks for the call the other day.
Oh, no problem. All right, man.
All right, folks, that was Spike Lee there. Real quick, one of the things that I've said about CBC Foundation, first of all, a lot of different great policy discussions, but I still challenge them. You have got to take the database of the number of people who come in here and provide them with the timely updates on policy and bills that we talked about. Now, they can't endorse bills being a 501c3, but you can certainly stay in contact with people after, so in between AOC, so they know what's going on.
Right.
That to me is still a failing.
Right, and what to do. I mean, I think the problem that we have, and Michael Blake talked about it, is that we leave with no assignment, nothing to do. You know, Ruby Davis said at one of the gatherings, first convenings, where Harry Belafonte pulled people together, when she talked about leaving with no assignment. And it is unfortunate that we come to these gatherings and then when we leave, people are still like, now, what am I supposed to do?
Exactly. Right.
But it's hard, and going back to what you said, it's hard for the foundation to give assignments because then they have to walk that fine line of partisanship.
No.
But the information,
yes,
but
and that's
with
the
your
key.
point,
That's the key.
Information is power. And, you know, the same way, you know, nonprofits can't get involved in direct campaigns, but they can get involved
on
in
issues.
Yeah.
And that's the key. On issues. And to me, that I think is the piece there. And you've been on panels that I've done. I drive folks on that, challenge them in terms of what to do next. Every conversation is not just we're going to talk. It's no. What's next? What's next? When you leave here, where do you go?
Right. Exactly. But saying the foundation can't be politically active, it's a political foundation. I understand its status and what have you, but the CBC are as political as they get. So I think that's a bit of a cop-out. Listen, if we're not organized about what we do after the ALC, then it's just a party. Right. And that's our problem. And I've been on Facebook talking about it. What type of CBC weekend are you going to have? We need all hands on deck. The Republicans control 3 houses. You got midterms in 2018. We're going to party every night and leave with no mission or organization. We don't need the ALC Foundation or the members of the CBC to organize for us. We can organize ourselves at the grassroots level.
But again,
we leave and we don't have that plan because we come here to party as opposed to protest and community organizing.
But folks need a role. But folks do need the role.
For most of those 9,000 is to come to party.
Right,
It's not. No.
That's right. There you go. That's right.
Wendy, go ahead.
Y'all be shimmying to the club. Don't shimmy to the club.
I'm going to slide the shade in. Wendy, go ahead.
Yes.
What I was going to say is, as an educator, as a professor, I just find it so disheartening when you have a mass group of people, you're supposed to give them an assignment, you're supposed to have a takeaway, and I think that is something that should be discussed on panels, which is really important.
Doesn't happen in 20, 30, 40 years.
Well, don't worry about it. Well, first, it happens in my sessions. I'll give you some homework when we're done.
That's right.
All right.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.